Hi, Luke.
Hello.
First of all, thanks for your time. My condolences for everything that's happened at the club with the sad passing of Jason Turner. How's the club been over the last few days?
I think it's fair to say we're all suffering um, because I think Jason was unique in terms of every single thing that you can imagine had a link to Jason, and not only did he have a link to him, he done everything in a spectacular way. So when you come into work, there's something that needs doing, Jason. Then you come into work and you need to make a plan, Jason. So he done everything that you can think of. He done three people's jobs, and he done it in a way that is, like I say, special, really remarkable. So we're suffering a lot because we lost a special person that we all loved, and there's many reminders of how great he was. So it's been challenging.
Maka, how did it impact you personally and the rest of the team as well?
Yeah, obviously it's been a really tough week. I think you see by the social media responses that how much he meant to everyone. He was more than just a CEO, the jobs he did, like the gaffer said there, he just did absolutely everything. Personally, I've only known him for 8 months. It feels like I've known him a lifetime because I had so many dealings with him. Anything I needed, like around the city, in the apartment, anything I needed fixed or anything like that, he was the first person I'd go to because I knew he was more than willing to help, and he helped straight away as well. So a really tough week for all the lads. But we've tried to not let it affect us, try and affect us in a positive way because we know how much he thought of us, and we want to try and repay that favour by doing it on the pitch, and hopefully he's looking down on us and he's willing us on.
How much of an impact did he have in actually getting you to the football club in the first place?
Yeah, massive, because on the first day I met with him and Rich, and there's two bubbly characters, and you see the character he is, always smiling. I loved coming into training and bumping into him and sitting in his office and speaking to him. He's that type of person. So yeah, massive impact, and I've just really enjoyed working with him, and obviously it's been a very sad few days.
Luke, as you've already covered, he was more than just your regular CEO. So how much of an impact will his devastating passing actually have on what you do around here as a football club on a day-to-day and everything that you're trying to achieve this season?
Well, an impact for sure, but there's a tough challenge for us because we can turn what you perceive impact to be negative into a positive impact, because one thing that we're all privileged to have done is to be able to learn from him, because he was unique, and so if you had a chance to work closely with Jason, you definitely learnt stuff. We also have a chance to make an impact by respecting how brilliant he was, to try to maintain our levels, and I think to drop our levels would be an insult, because he really, everything that you see Macca and the guys do on the pitch was a reflection of how Jason pretty much ran the club behind the scenes, and so we have to try somehow. There's going to be a trick that we have to perform on ourselves to make the impact of him leaving us positive, and we are all trying to help each other to treat it in that way, but it's not an easy trick to perform.
From knowing him personally myself, I know that he wouldn't want anybody to stop working or to take the foot off of the pedal or anything like that. And he'd probably be planning it as a way of using it as motivation, in a way, to go on and complete the job that he worked and you all worked so hard to do, and that is to get promoted this season. And I see Notts fans saying, I hope the club can do it for Jason. Is that something that's crossed your minds as well?
Absolutely. I think we all know that we would be getting told off for underperforming because of our emotions. We would all be getting told off by Jason, and we don't doubt that at all, not one of us. So yeah, again, it's difficult because your emotions are telling you to feel one way, and you have to try to override that first initial pang of sadness you have to try to override that with your responsibility to show respect to him and the incredible job that he done.
Maka, how do you make sure that on Friday there's going to be a lot of lovely tributes paid to him, his family's going to be here? How do you make sure as a group of players that the emotion's used in the right way and that you get the job done on the pitch still?
Yeah, like I said, obviously it's going to be an emotional day, but like the gaffer said, we've got to sort of use that in a positive way. We know what Jason will want. He'll want us to go on now and kick on, win every single game, and we use that as motivation really. It's going to be another tough game, but I think we use all that motivation, all that little extra percent we can, and that's one of them.
Luke, how do you keep the focus, turning to the football now, how do you keep the focus on the task at hand on Friday in Wealdstone and not allow minds to wander onto the huge game at Wrexham on Monday?
What I would say is that the physical action of training and playing in the games is for sure is a release, is a moment to focus all of your energy on a task, and I must say that the players have trained in an incredible way, and I know that us as a group of staff are relishing the chance to get to the training pitch early and spend as much time as we can on the training pitch, because it is a place where you can spend energy and you can put all of your focus into the actions, and the players have certainly done that in a really incredible way. So I think that it's exactly what we need. I think the Wealdstone game will give everybody an opportunity to focus their energy on something in front of them, rather than to dwell on the situation that we're suffering now. So it's perfect. It's actually perfect for us. We cannot wait to get out on the pitch.
On Wealdstone then, an opportunity for you, Maka, to add to your goal tally and to break more records.
Yeah, obviously that's going to be a massive motivation for me. Like I always say, the team comes first, and I want to score as many goals as I can to help the team. And then the individual accolades and the records are just the icing on the cake. So yeah, I'd love to do that in the next game, but if it doesn't happen, as long as we win the game, I don't really care.
Yeah. How many goals would you be on if you was on pens?
Well, I think it's just an easy thing to say. I've said this numerous times though. It's people say to me, well, we've had 10 penalties, I think. You could be on 50 now. You've got to score the penalties. They're not easy. Ruben's unbelievable. He scored, I think it's 8 out of 10. 80% of your penalties is an unbelievable return. The amount of pressure. I don't think penalties are, you sort of take into consideration the pressure sometimes. You look at some of the penalties he's taken. I think Yeovil away in the last minute. Solihull, 2 penalties that game. Torquay as well. He had some massive pressure moments, massive pressure penalties. So they are tough attributes to convert. So it's not given that you're going to score them. Yeah, obviously I'd like to be on penalties and score more goals, but Ruben's our best penalty taker, so I can't argue with his return. He's the best person to be on that penalty, and he's got the composure and the ability to convert them penalties.
Yeah, Ruben will be mad at me for that, so apologies. Luke, just to circle on to Friday and the importance of it as a football game, but obviously everybody's looking at Wrexham on Monday. You're going to be asked a lot of questions about Wrexham in a moment. How do you make sure that you're not distracted by Wrexham around the corner?
Well, I think we would like to go to Wrexham with some hope of still being able to make an impact. If we lose on Friday, we lose the game, that becomes less likely that we can go there and actually make a big impact by winning. So I'm sure the players understand that it would be pointless to focus all of our energy on playing against Wrexham before we focused all of our energy on playing against Wealdstone, who, by the way, are a very good team, and they have a very good model, and they can pose you a lot of problems. So the players understand that. They know that there's a game that needs to be focused upon thoroughly before we can turn any attention to Wrexham. We understand the noise from outside. That's completely natural, and we accept it. But the noise from inside the camp is about Friday night.
We'll talk more, obviously, about Wrexham in a moment, but just on Wealdstone finally for me in this section. You scored 6 at their place earlier on this season. Fans will rock up here on Friday expecting to see that fast-flowing, free-flowing football that you guys have played so far this season on so many occasions. How do you go about putting into practice that again? Expectations will obviously be high because of the levels you've set.
Yeah, I think that we've been under that pressure to perform for a long, long time. I don't think anything changes for us. Honestly, I don't feel like we feel added pressure to perform well in this game. Just the same, we have a model, and the players are held accountable for their performance. I try to set out between myself and my staff. We set the performance levels for the players. The players have smashed those performance levels, and we have to keep raising them. So they understand to live under that pressure. And many of the comments that I received recently are that the players appear to be enjoying themselves on the pitch and not feeling pressure. So we have to continue in the same way. We have to prepare thoroughly to play against a really good team, and we have to try to bring our maximum energy to the pitch.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Charlie. Ollie King, Nottingham Post.
Hi, Louis Carmichael. How are we? Okay.
Good, thank you. Yourself?
Good. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Just going to start with this weekend. So after the game earlier away in the season, I listened to Stuart Maynard's post-match interview regarding Notts as one of the best teams he'd ever seen in the National League. But how well has he done with that squad and that group of players that he's got at the minute?
Yeah, without a doubt, he's done a brilliant job, because when you watch them, you can very clearly see the work unfolding in front of you on the pitch, and they have a different setup to us, more challenging setup than we do. We're extremely well catered for, and we know that, and we appreciate that, and they have more challenges than we do. So really the work that Stuart's done there is really excellent, of a very high level.
Yeah, a number of times this season on social media we've seen some of the goals that they've scored with their build-up possession. It's quite similar to how you like to play. Does that make preparations for this one a little bit more difficult because they're so similar in the way that they like to play as well?
Without a doubt, yeah. There's a lot of respect. I think that just to put the game at their place into context, we started the game very, very well, and we were able to score goals early on. And also, the other thing that we must remember in that game was that we scored goals that are very, very difficult to convert. So on a different day, that wouldn't have been the case. So it was almost like a perfect storm in terms of the way that we started, in terms of difficult opportunities to score being converted. So everything fell into place for us on that day, and then of course, once you are in front very early, you have a different confidence. You play with a different freedom, and we were able to be very dominant on the day. We don't look at that game and feel like everything is okay. We're going to be absolutely fine. This team are going to be easy to play against. We don't. We're not naive enough to think that we were that good on the day that was inevitable. We know that there was a combination of us playing well and some good fortune that gave us a really great start. So we look at them and we think, okay, this team is very well coached and have a very difficult model to play against, and we're fully aware of that.
Just on team news for this weekend, you've sort of alluded that Junior Marais and Kevin Scott are close to returning. So how important are they going to be for the next two games if they are available?
Of course, yeah, because at the moment my anxiety is very high, because this guy is on the pitch every minute, and as you know, if he does the business, he normally comes off the pitch, which I think he's very relieved to be picking up more minutes. But of course, as a head coach, you worry about having the reinforcements and the firepower to be able to sustain anything that might come your way and the different challenges. So of course, it's great news to see both these guys on the pitch and fully training with the squad, and we have a good idea of their conditioning. So is really great news for this period of the season. Now is going to be very, very important for us to have a healthy squad.
And then just looking further ahead from the 2 bank holiday fixtures, the news was announced today that the fixture with Woking has now been moved to a 5:30 kick-off. So that means that you will only have had 7 3 p.m. kick-offs for the whole of the season. Is that supposedly perhaps a disadvantage from being at the top of the league?
No, we don't look at it in that way at all. I think quite honestly, is irrelevant to us when we kick off. We only have to make sure that we change our preparation. The times in our preparation is not a big deal for us. We haven't even looked at whether this is an advantage or a disadvantage. Honestly, it doesn't register for us. It's irrelevant. We know the kick-off time. When we get that confirmation, we work backwards through our schedule and make sure that we arrive in the right place at the right time and play football.